Here's another one of those triagami pots. This is the little bit larger one. I'm not sure the size. I also had this on a bed of sand, and there are a few roots coming through. Nothing spectacular. These were just growing in pots, plucked out of my my yard. Eastern red cedars. They grow like weeds around here. So I'm just going to clean up the base. This is some Scotch moss here. Some regular moss growing up the side of the tree. I'll take that away. You can see it's peeling away some of the bark. Now you know why we don't like it. When there's so much moisture up against the tree, it tends to rot away the bark a little bit, so you really want to keep that dry. Once again, this was on a bed of sand, which was allowed to collect the water, so I took that away. This will now survive on regular waterings. They're very sturdy in the pot. They were rooted, they weren't cuttings. Let's see if I can shape this into something. This is a vigorous tree, and it's got some nice mature growth up above, but it's getting a little big. I'm going to take it down to here. This side has a lot of immature growth. I'm going to clear out some of the low stuff. God, this stuff really hurts. Should be wearing gloves. There's a branch down here that isn't doing anything. Clear that away. This low one. Clear that away. We got some interference here. I'm going to take this whole branch off. Nice soft growing branch, but not helping me out. So that leaves this really ugly stem. And that's all that's happening with this. So I'm going to take that whole section off. Simplifies the planting somewhat. So now they were both triples. Now this one's a double. And this is still a triple. Another very immature branch growing to the inside. I'll take that out. Ouch. Those hurt for days. They get in your skin. Clear this out a little bit, especially when they're dry and dead. Do I need this going off to the side like that? I kind of like it. It's weird. It's got a lot of dead on it. I'm just going to take the last section off of that. That branch going toward the back. That's a double. This is a triple. I'm going to take the one going up off. I'm going to leave that one. Maybe I'll just take that. No, I'm going to leave it. It's interesting. This has another little branch at the base. I'll take that off. My goal is to see a tree. These can hold on to a lot of debris. I will take that off. And this dry stuff is just going to fall off. Giving it a hand. Is any of that any good? Any of this for that matter. I'm going to take this shorter in favor of that little branch to the side. This one. You really want to make snap decisions. You don't want to make snap decisions. I mean, I'd like to be able to get through this quickly, but this is the weird immature growth, and this is the nice mature growth. So I like the way this is going. I may have to clear away some of this branch, and I will. I want to jump around. And do I control the height of this? This branch interferes down low, but I'll cut it short. Ooh, there's wind. I'm going to shorten this one. And this has more leaders coming here, so I'm going to take this big piece off there. All right. I think that tree is fairly well pruned up. I'll take this one branch off here. Now this tree, which is by far the most mature tree, but has the most immature growth. Where do I want the first branch to begin? I guess I should have asked that question here too. That one's okay down low. Maybe this one comes out. I think this little branch needs to come off. I said I was going to work on the other tree, didn't I? Best laid plans. I think that made sense. And I'm not seeing any cedar apple rust, which is making me very happy. I think this one that heads toward the back comes off, and I'll leave that little front piece on. So there's something there. This one's fine. This one wants to grow down here. That makes me happy. I'll take this piece off that grows up into the tree, into the center of the tree. Take some of these little wispy things off. Ouch. Eastern red cedar. This one comes forward. I think I'll cut it shorter. I'm leaving these other trees for the moment. Take that branch off entirely. Take this branch off entirely. Get some separation between these trees. And take this part off just below that branch. That doesn't really look good. I'll take the whole thing off. It makes me want to take this one off too. Who's peeking out from under the stairway, calling a name that's lighter than air? Who's reaching out to capture a moment? Everyone knows it's windy. I know my older viewers will know that song. Get some definition between these two trees. This looks okay so far. Where can I trim that? It's got 2 branches growing up, 2 growing down. I just shortened it to get some separation. I think I am going to come a little further back on this one. I have an eastern red cedar forest also that needs help, but it needs more help than I want to give it right now. All right, I think the apex wants to be here. I'll cut this short. And cut this shorter. Still got quite a few trees to go. This is a big cut. Almost want to take the top off of that. A couple little branches and buds down here. I'm going to cut this off there. There's a lot going on back here. I'm going to cut it off short. I don't love it, but it's a good start. There's some interference here. How can I clear that up? One, two, three, four, 5 trees in a triagami pot. No roots coming through the bottom per se. Well, let's get this one back on the bench and growing. What's up next? Here's a little cherry tree of unknown origin. Just made its way to the yard and started growing. Had a little break right there. Bent down and continued to grow. That doesn't look so pretty, but I'm going to leave it. Got a double branch here. One with a little maturity and the other one I like better. Do I like that one better? No, I like the older one better. Except they're both bar branches. Maybe I don't like either of them. We're going back now. It's just a weird thing, but I don't know. I kind of like it in a weird kind of way. Just so strange the way that started growing. Take that leaf off. Starting to get woody to here. I'm gonna cut it here to where the internodes start to get longer there. I have an outward facing leaf here. I'm going to cut this part off. What do I do with this? If I cut it here, I'll get some nice taper happening. Cut the end off of this. You can experiment on your fun trees that just started growing in your yard that you spent no money on. I don't like that little branch. I took an ugly tree and made it uglier. Let's see what happens to it. Clean something up here. Weird, 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 crazy stuff. See how this leaf is down below where the branch came from? That's no need to be there anymore. Don't need that. I don't need this. The stub just fell off in my... Alright. There we go. My little tree that started growing, broke and kept growing, all pruned up. Next, the wind has not let up. It's actually gotten a little bit worse. So this is my ginkgo biloba Fockerts Select. It's grafted on regular ginkgo rootstock, and you can see the difference in the leaf size between this cultivar and the rootstock. So this is an ever ongoing struggle to control the growth from the rootstock. This will never look good like this. So the plan for this tree is to ground layer it or to air layer it up above the graft. I tried to make the graft a little bit prettier, but I don't know, it's going to take decades, and I don't have that many decades to wait. So I'm going to do something higher up on this tree, and I'll prune it with that in mind, so it'll be a small tree. All right, so these are great, these very healthy growths, but if you've got a branch behind it that you want to be seen, they're no good at all. There is a pruning stub there that can come out. I'm going to remove the lowest leaf from this branch, or the lowest few leaves from this branch. Make it look more like a branch. And this low one here. I'll just concentrate on this branch. Okay, it goes up nice, and I got a little bit of taper to here. It'd be nice if I got a little more taper or maybe some branching, so I'm going to cut this down to here. And that should branch. Okay, so this is guiding me towards the apex of my tree, and I'm thinking the front is somewhere here or here. It comes more forward here. I like this side as the front better. So this is giving me how I want my apex to be in this branch, which is not my most, it's not the most vigorous branch on that stem. This one is. But if this is the front, I don't want my apex all the way in the back. I'm going to take a lot of vigor out of this one. And only take a little of vigor out of this apex. That might die back. I should actually go to here, shouldn't I? Yeah. Yeah, that's better. So, that tells me where to prune this. And that's right here. Now, I should clean out this bottom and top. These older leaves, they're not old, they're this year's growth. I want these to look more like branches. By taking the vigor off the tips, you're encouraging branching lower down. And unfortunately, lower down has the wider internodes, the longer internodes. But they do get shorter right here. And if this were my front, I guess I'd want the branching to begin there. Now I've got these two branches crossing in the middle. If this were the front, they cross right at me. And I'm not sure that there's anything I can do about it, so I'm going to start taking the interfering leaves off, the ones that are facing each other, see if it's any better. And it is better. It would be fine if this branch wanted to come down in this direction, so I'm going to trim it to there, hoping I get a little branch section growing that way. And what do I do with this guy? Can't take it way back to there, can I? I'm going to take it to here. It'll do something. They're both coming at me. They're probably going to cross, but maybe I'll get something else happening there. I like the interaction that it's giving me. Take that leaf off. Take these close leaves off. Leaves off. This is about equal now. But I think I'd like it to kind of go down. I've got that one going back. I don't want this one going back. I'd like it going down. And that leaf is here, and hopefully it'll send out a shoot there, or maybe two shoots, which would be great. This interferes with that. Let me take these lower leaf off. This lower leaf. And now I can see what's going on better. This space could be filled by either this branch or this one. And since this one mirrors this one, I think that's the one that's coming out. Too bad. Nice growth on it. And how do I encourage that branch to go in that direction? Well, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a section of this branch that does grow in that direction. All I got to do is take this part off, and now we got a branch growing in that direction. Maybe. Still like this is the front. Remembering that this part goes away. I'm going to dig a little deeper there. I can't stand that I can't control this. Luca's having a blast rolling around in the grass. Luca, are you rolling in something that we're going to smell later on? You know, this is my tree. I get to choose. That's not real nice, but I want to see what happens. Turned out to be quite an interesting day with the wind and... All right, let me take some of these lower leaves off. And I had my grapevine growing near this. I had to cut the vine in order to pull this tree out. Take this leaf off. This one. This one. This one. All right, so if the front is moved to there, and I've got this, yeah, there's a million ways I want to look at I can look at this tree. Every one of them I like. Cleaning this up a little bit of a bump, and sloppy pruning last time around. So I bought this tree online because it said it had very small leaves, and it does. Doesn't disappoint. Let me just clear out some of this confusion here. Notice I'm not going into fast motion on anything today. Got the free day waiting for the kids. Also, my daughter's car is in the shop, and we're waiting for that call. So any minute, somebody's going to have to pick up that car for my daughter. That could be me. I just want to take one leaf off of this one. Hope you heard that. How's the sound? I do have the microphone covered. Comment all you want about the wind noise. No one hears it more than me. Now, this is going to be a nice little tree one day. Now, I did, let me see, can you see the whole pot? You can't. When I repotted this, I put it only to here. There is a plate on the bottom of this where it gets thinner. I put a small like snack plate in there upside down, so it's really only got room to make roots between here and here, and I'm gonna really take advantage of whatever kind of root spread I get on this, because once I air layer that, I guess I'll grow a regular ginkgo tree out of this, and maybe it'll be spectacular. Who knows? All right, that is my ginkgo biloba Fockerts Select. Weird name, huh? There's another little stub I want to get cleaner here. Not bad, not bad. What's next on the list?